It's time to talk.
All right, here we go.
Specifically community business on Community Business Hour with the You Can Do It team. Every Tuesday at noon, business-minded folks join the conversation with insight and information on how they took on the sometimes overwhelming challenges of business. Each contributing voice is a firm believer in helping you become a stronger social economic contributor. Here on Community Business Hour, we know the right information can change your life. Community Business Hour is for anyone wanting to be around
something.
People.
Hey, everybody.
Whether you're starting or growing a business, running a nonprofit,
I'll tell you in a minute.
We'll get started. Employment, the You Can Do It team is on air and online for you. Phone lines are open, 713-526-8737. And you can connect with us across the social media spectrum at CB Out. Now let's talk some
business. All right, and welcome to Community Business Hour here on 90.1 KPFT here in Houston, Texas. So we're, 3 weeks or so into the new year, and for those of you that don't know, we're here at KPFT 90.1 here in Houston, Texas, and it's Fund Drive week or two. It is like for the next, there's Miguel. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
He's just coming to the studio. So it's Fund Drive time. So it's important that in order to keep the station up and running, that we raise the funds necessary to make this happen. No, that's you. That's you. Have a seat. Yeah, that's how we roll here. So the thing is, I'm going to beg for money. I'm going to plead for money. I'm going to negotiate with those that have taken my information hostage over the years, or that have siphoned some of it off and used it. So I don't ask for Girl Scout cookie money. I don't ask for troop leader money. I don't ask you to buy my book on Amazon. I don't ask you to do much of anything. But I would like for you to, we got more coming. Come on in. I would like for you to give back to KPFT, to 90.1. Go online, if you have to kpft.org, or call. If you call, it's even better, because there's a whole studio of people next door manning the phone banks. The number is 713-526-5738 for the fund drive. Here's my challenge to you. If I've helped you, I want you to help me. That's the thing, right? Now, I know some of you are like, well, I've used your information, but I was already brilliant. Great, I don't care. The point is, if you deep inside feel like I said something that was worth even $1, call 713-526-5738 and say, hey, I want to make a contribution to this radio station, a public radio station, a radio station for the people, about the people, all that good stuff. Simply because, you know what? I've worked on the big channel. Like, this is a 100,000 watt frequency we broadcast on, and I've worked on private sector commercial radio. And the things that we do here, you cannot do over there, right? I've met with legendary journalists and reporters that have lost their job because so many of you believe that this capitalistic system has to be dirty, and it doesn't. I'm business, I'm economics, I'm pro making money, I'm pro making and helping people that can't make it, turning victims into victorious people. I'm not going to give you this pacifier answer of how to come up and how to be it. I'm not going to take your excuses. I'm not going to take your whining. But I'll give you everything I know to make a difference in your life. And so the number up here is 713-526-5738 to make a pledge. Pledge, you do it for the Jerry Lewis, you do it for JDF, you do it for everything you think of, cancer, breast cancer, all that. All those people need a voice. And this is the place you go where you don't want to pay to play. Other stations I have to go on to get you on at $750 an hour just to get you on air means either I lost $750 or you split the bill with somebody else. All these workshops, and I'll call out every organization I've done a free, quote, workshop while you charged at the door. Every one of you that have called me up and asked for business advice and information only to go turn around and then try to sell that information to a, quote, client. I'm asking you, without calling you out, without going Twitter Trump on the hands and calling you out, because you know who you are. And most of you are watching, even though you think I can't see you. I want you to contribute. I want you to go to 713-526-5738 and say, I'm donating, I'm contributing on behalf of Jonyprofit. I don't care if you give $40. I don't care if you give $500. If you give $1,000, I'll try to make it worth your while. The money doesn't come to me. There's no jets parked outside. There's no billboards all over town. This is a place that in the studio across to me, people like Leia at the gym that I meet that are in a band can come in here and play without having to do horrific things with record labels or for record label leaders to get in there and start playing over 100,000 watt frequency. I'm just saying. That's the point I want to make today. Over the years, I've developed slide after slide because here's what I found. And I was talking about it with some colleagues this morning. So many of you are so caught. You're so caught in your little silo, right? And you got this split right down the middle of what's right for you doesn't matter what anybody else wants. What's right for you doesn't matter what anybody else wants. That's why you can be pro-life, but then want to blow up a whole nother country. That's why you can want jobs Americans don't want, but then you want maximum dollar shares on your return. You live in this constant battle, and you think everything is black and white. That's what we're fighting right now as a nation. That's why we fight as a world. A few people poison the well, and you lose your mind because you just want to believe in something that benefits you. So if I benefit you, if I'm hosting your domain, because there's at least 60 of you that I pay. Some of you I paid for almost 10 years. I put your name, renewed your domain name. I'm challenging you. Go, make the donation. You haven't even taken me to lunch, dinner, none of it, all right? So here's your chance to make it right, pay it current, everything that's in arrears. 713-526-5738 is how you call up here. You say, hey, I'm listening to Jonyprofit on your station right now. I want to contribute. I want to give money. If you sat in this studio, I did not charge you. I didn't ask you to buy a table at my event. I did not ask you to retweet how awesome I am. I didn't do any of that. I just brought you in and gave you a chance to get your feet wet in studio. So I'm saying now, if I'm going to use my political clout, use my media influence, I'm going to say at this moment, you can go to kpft.org, click donate, pick all shows. And if you pick all shows, let me know, because until they put Community Business Hour on that drop-down list, I don't know if you gave or not. And the reason I'm saying this is, look, my mom, rest in peace. The reason I am me today is because she made a lot of strong woman decisions. And this may irk a lot of you. And I'm not concerned with it right now, because if what I'm about to say upsets many of you, that's your problem, not mine. I would consider my mom's strength the equivalent to what it took for Michelle Obama. So all my conservatives back home, you're mad, like, oh, you're talking about that woman. I can't believe Jonyprofit. I thought you had enough sense in that. This isn't about politics. This is about having a whole world thrown at you, and you still walked out with class. That's how I saw my mom. I don't see that in a lot of you. Don't see that in a lot of you. So I say that to say, look, the reason I'm sitting here is because somebody made the sacrifice. It took a lot of people to get me here in studio. Some of you are going to journalism school. You're doing all this other stuff. Oh, you're going to media. You're going to be social media gurus. You're going to light up cameras and show the world. I just want to spread the world that from the place which I came, there was hope. And there was a way to get there. And it didn't include whining. So over the years, as I'm helping each and every one of you, I created all these slides because I realized I had to make it so simple and so hard to argue, so difficult to be like, well, you know, John, that's true, but in 1947, somebody was able to do it differently. Ignorant arguments, right? Just for the sake of arguing, which is where most of you spend your time. You spend your time in the sake of arguing for the sake of arguing. 90.1 KPFT, this is Community Business Hour. I'm Jonyprofit. Miguel's in the studio. Melissa's here. I just have to take some time to go off because I want you to contribute. I want you to represent for the business-minded. All right? No awards, no words. I could tell you horror stories that are great first world problems, but horror stories about people that have taken advantage of the fact of, my mother made me a very nice guy to some extent, and many of you have taken advantage of it. Because I know my real friends will contribute anyway. But for those of you out here claiming to be business developers, claim to be marketing, claim to be PR, how many of you PR people have been in the studio or brought your clients over here? You charge them to come to a free show. I want you to donate. I want you to go right now, go to your database and share with everybody and say, look, I don't want him to Twitter finger me. I want you, this is a real buddy of mine. He's a buddy of mine, right? I'm your buddy when you can get your friends on this show. Congratulations to Jeffrey L. Boney. He's running for office. I didn't quite see what it was, but I know it's a district sum, but you go, buddy. I mean, because he's out here doing it. He's doing everything he can. But look, that's where that stands. Today's topic is whatever they brought to the studio because it's Fund Drive Week. I don't have a topic. There's always stuff for me to talk about. But I can't emphasize, I'm going to find the number 713-526. They will freak out if you call over to the studio right now at 713-526-5738 and say, I want to contribute to KPFT on behalf of John Whaley, Jonyprofit, the guy in the studio. They'll be like, what? I didn't even know he was on air in there. What's going on? What? Show your support. Everyone that's rolled up into the Microsoft store with me, everyone that has been to anything from the Urban League. Urban League, I want you to get active. I want you to get active. I want you to pay it current. Send it out to your database. You tweet every other program out there. I want you to tweet this out. I'm just saying. So with that said, as I've said before, you want to pick a topic? I'll show you the slides. So you look at the slides. All you Facebook folks, these are all the slides of how we've built, created, shaped, all this. When Amy Goodman and the rest of them get on here and they talk about content, I got more slides than Prince has records. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know why I had to create slides? Because at the time I didn't have a degree, and I had to be able to put this up against the best minds, the most crafty minds, the most evilest minds. I had to put all these together. You're just looking at just a few. And for those of you that go back and try to screen capture, do what you got to do because you still want to understand it. So let's just look. It just keeps on going. And every one of these slides are on a completely different topic. I'll freeze one for you. Look at this. See it right here? If you're listening on air, we're showing slides to our Facebook Live people, so later on you can go and check it out. But for now, I want you to go to kpft.org, push donate, go to all, give a contribution. But this slide talks about, check the motives of the people around you. Structuring deals. How do you structure deals? And this is how you structure deals, just to give you a little bit. This is where they talk for a minute, then come back and ask for a donation. Here's what we found when we come to structuring deals, right? So, the first big problem, let's see, mismanage the streams. So the first thing we do is check the people around you, okay? You got 3 types of people around you at all times, 3 types of people. You got the ambitious, you got those that admire you, and you have those that appreciate you. Those are the 3 types of people. Wayne, I just saw you join on. Thanks, buddy. I see you watching. We're doing a fund drive right now. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and tell Wayne this, because Wayne is a huge center of influence for a lot of people. Wayne, we're doing a fundraiser here at KPFT. You're always welcome to the show, buddy. It's no pay for play. I just ask that you tweet it out, share it with the rest of your friends here on Facebook Live. The phone number up here is 713-526-5738 because we're raising money. Anytime you want to come up here and talk, because I want to do a whole show about how we take business and turn those business or take athletes and turn them into business people, because we use many of those skills that we used to overcome, all that stuff. So again, we're raising money. That's what we're doing. But the 3 types of people that you need to always be aware of, you got to categorize these folks. The ambitious, those that admire you, and those that appreciate you. And you see, they're even color-coded because I know I have to add a lot because people are like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's people who wake up every morning just to say, I don't get it. I don't get it. Red is the ambitious people, all right? The reason you watch out for ambitious people want to do one thing. They want to take what you have, get what you got, or destroy you. That's it. That's probably like 80%. Okay, I'll be nice because I have trimmed down. That's probably 60% of my Facebook fans, my Facebook people falling ambitious. They're go-getters. They met me somewhere and then I want to be your friend on Facebook. Ooh, hey, Tammy, I just saw you join in. Tammy, hey, thanks for joining in. Here's the deal. We're raising money for KPFT. Tell your friends. Hey, Arnetta, thank you for sharing, honey. Look, Tammy, we're doing a fundraiser. The phone number up here is 713-526-5738. The reason I can't memorize it is because we have a number here in the studio for this studio. And if I say the wrong number and you call me, then it doesn't work. Workflow, right? So here's the deal. Tammy, yeah, share, thank you. So Wayne's saying 85% of his. So the ambitious just want to see you fail, or they want to see how they can get ahead, right? That's the majority of people that are following me like, let me see what he's talking about. He's on, you know what, Tommy, I don't know what you do, John Whaley. What do you do? And the reason you can't understand what I do is because you didn't even know it existed. Like, that's the scary part. And when I try to describe it to you, you have nothing to hold on to, nothing to grab hold of and say, oh, I've seen that before. And then the prophet comes on CNBC, and all of a sudden, all of you want to be the prophet. And I'm like, but we've been doing that for a long time. That's what investment companies do. But anyway, the next group, and this is a cool group. These are the people that admire you, okay? These are the people, they don't know what you do. They just appreciate your will, your character, how you carry yourself. Or in some cases, they appreciate you. You're brass, and you're a jerk, and you're everything they want to be. Those people make up the next group. And then the last group, the green, these are people who appreciate you. And in order for them to appreciate you, they understand you and what you're going through. That's the hardest group to find. Because that group they're busy doing and living their life. But at the end of the day, the majority of the people around you, gassing you up, filling up your head, telling you could start a business and you can be great and you can be a boss, are the ambitious that are simply trying to get you rolling so they can tag along, So you remember when I talked about that whole collaborating, these grabbers, these leeches grab onto another and they suck the energy out of each other, and then they break apart on Facebook and they start tweeting how can't trust everybody, hashtag me, myself, and I, and all that. So when it comes to structuring the deal, look, the first, no, I'm not going to share that with you because you need to start donating. You need to come up off the money, like right now. Like it costs $150 an hour, or an hour to keep this place running, right? I need you to go to the phone line, 713-526-5738. Say, hey, Jonyprofit, John Whaley's on air right now, and I want to contribute because this guy came to my Lift Off Houston deal for free. He's been at my Houston business plan, Houston Community College business plan competition for free because he spoke to me for over 10 years at SCORE for free. I don't know. What? I don't know. I mean, just help me out. He's come to the Kingdom Builders Center for free. Think about it. Thank you, Wayne, for sharing. Think about it. We want your donations. If I've helped you, I want you to help me help you because this does me no good. I have companies to run now. It's a new day for me. It's the 17th of January. In the 17th time plus 2,000 years since y'all decided to go from BCs and ADs and stuff. And so it's a whole new day for me. And I'm coming out swinging. I'm coming out swinging. Thank you, cousin, for sharing it. I appreciate it, dear. And once again, thanks, Arnetta. 713-526-5738. Call up and say, Jonyprofit has helped me out. John Whaley, if you didn't know, Jonyprofit has helped me out. I want to contribute. $40, $4,000, it doesn't matter. The money's not going in my pocket. The money's not going, as you can see, you've seen the hole in the wall. All right? It's a house that they have. But more importantly, we have a station, a frequency, 100,000 watt frequency that reaches from one end of town to the other and then some. That you watching me can have access to. Meaning when I'm on air, you're on air. You could call me and discuss something of common sense. Believe me, I put it on Meetup once, looking for guest speakers, and the only thing I got were a bunch of motivational speakers. They were like, yeah, Johnny, I just released a new book, Johnny, and it's really good, Johnny. It's 50 ways to get motivated, Johnny. Like, yeah, no, okay, but there's 30 of you, so I gotta pick one. And I've had a few of them on the show. So I'm saying, I want you to contribute because I want to raise $15,000. $15,000. Half of you I should have charged $15,000. If I've been your life coach and you call me whining 24/7, you owe me $15,000 because I've checked the rate and that's what they get, and that's about fair, right? I'm just saying. If I've been your quote business consultant, hey, Johnny, let me pick your brain. How do you do that video streaming stuff? I'm not gonna. Let me see the ambitious. I'm not gonna use it for anything. I just thought it was really exciting, Jonyprofit. Yeah. Hey, Jonyprofit, how do you set up that website the way you have it, Jonyprofit? Yeah. Go give. And I promise you, if you get us to 15,000, if you get Community Business Hour to 15,000, I'll give you everything you ever asked for when it comes to setting up your business because it's all common sense. There's nothing tricky about it. Right now, you got the Chinese president at Davos right now giving a speech because his whole goal is to undermine everything Trump is doing so that when this country decides it wants to show its pretty little head and talk about how tough it is and the whole world circles it up, we're going to need a lot of entrepreneurs. We're not going to need football fans. Nope. We're not going to need Cowboy fans. We're not going to need Super Bowl fans. We're not going to even need Dancing with the Stars fans. We're going to need people that's actually going to be able to get things done. Be able to track down the money, know the numbers, be able to go to Miguel and be like, hey, I need to get a loan. I need to raise some money. I need to grow my business. But first you have to have business sense. And in my organization for 2017, here's what we're doing because I'm like that close to finishing the MBA. And I will admit, all the classes were like, whatever, walk in the park, been doing this for 30 years. But when we got to this capstone and we lit up this simulator, in which now me and my partner, who was supposed to be 4, now it's just 2 of us, started running a chip company where we have a chip. That was a company that was broken apart just like AT&T, and now we have to compete with the rest of the folks, and we have to look at everything from R&D to marketing to production to finance and HR and quality management, and we got to do it at lightning speed, and we got a whole bunch of data we got to go through and put in numbers. It's a whole new day. We're ready to fight. We're ready to play. We're ready to go. I'm ready to share that with you as a small business owner. And so where I was going with that is now we have a new metrics. And what I look at is each and every one of you, there's only 2 things you need. Two things, but it's in quadrants. And those 2 things are you either need information, you need knowledge, like How, what, where, why. And that's usually for my startups, folks transitioning out of corporate. The other group of you need people that can get it done. That's what you're not understanding. That's the part that's missing for many of you. You think you need a social media class. You think you need a project management class. No, you just needed someone that actually do it. And that's where we're starting to figure out this new metrics of always before. It was, here's the business model. For those of you out there, #BossLife. You can adopt this now and we'll see how it works out for you. It was real simple. We would go out and we would speak to large groups. All the groups I called out earlier that I want you to donate, the group leaders, all you group leaders some of you were nice enough to give me a plaque. Some of you didn't even acknowledge me. Some of you even took my name off the awards banquet because of internal political stuff. It's crazy when you got the microphone, huh? Ooh. Beware of the Twitter. Look, 713-526-5738 is the number up here. There's a group. There's a whole phone bank of folks sitting in the next room that would love to talk to you. Hey, Chris Burdett. Thanks for watching, buddy. So the whole point is we go out there and we speak to these groups. Once we speak to those groups, some of them want training. Now, when I train you, it's very straightforward. I get you either one-on-one or in a group, and we pick a specific topic, any of these slides. Social media, finance. I've done the finance piece so many times of everything you need to know to get a loan, to get an investment, to get anything you want. You know why? Because I've sat on so many panels, because I've done so many deals. I'm free now. Many of you don't know what that means, but I've been telling you for years, wait, as Kanye West would say, wait till I get my money back. I'm back. And I want you to donate. Look, once we train you up, we get you going. Some of you are worthy of us doing service for you, meaning you have the money, you're ready to go. You got service and you got the whole training thing. You need something in the middle. So our next stage is we start servicing what you do. We have certain things that we do well internally, especially when it comes to marketing and project management, things like that. After that, a handful of you, like 3, we select to go into that 4th column, which is we invest in you. Like we put money, we put resources behind you. We push what you're doing out to the market. And so we talk. Some of you hear me and say, I want to know more. So we train. Some we train up and they're like, okay, I want you to come do that. And then some that are doing it well, we say, we want to interact with you. That's what I do. Bernard Morris, thank you very much. I love watching you fly all around the world. It is awesome. I love seeing what you're doing. I'm super proud of Kenneth for getting over at the Air Museum. It is awesome to see. And yes, we're doing a fundraiser, and then we could do one with you if you need one also too, Bernard. Just saying. So those are the 4 stages if you ever want to know what Tommy does. But as far as Jonyprofit, all these slides sit in folders. And as your project comes to me, I don't have to make it up. How many times have I told you lynda.com is the way to go? I love it. I love it. It's on my phone. It's on every unit. Everything we got has got Lynda. Put on my headphones. 713. Make sure I get this right. You know it by now, right? I'm putting them on. I just want to go off for like 30 minutes. 713-526-5738. If you call those people over there in the phone bank and say, I want to make a $40, $5, $6, $16,000 donation on behalf of Jonyprofit, John Whaley, they will be like, come banging on the glass and be like, John, there's people saying your name. This social media stuff's really working. And I did it on my Facebook page, my personal page, which I said, if you're running from your Facebook page, you know, it is what it is, but whatever. Simply because there's no way to boost live. I don't have the following on the other pages, on Community Business Hour or EE Hour, and they will jam me up. If I go live stream from our unit and I do the multi-camera setup, Facebook will jam me up. Like, that's it. The only way I know you will get this message if I go straight to my page. And again, I'm not asking for me, because if Dwayne and the rest crew, if this station folds, it doesn't impact my life. It impacts your life, because now the rest of you are going to have to either go to 88 point whatever it is, 7, and I doubt most of you are going to get on over there. And the only voice you have or had, whether you were liberal or conservative, was right here. The only place you were going to hear music that wasn't automated and pre-programmed and designed to feed you whatever you needed to hear to get you to go buy stuff was right here. And you let it slide because you'd rather go to Starbucks today. You'd rather go ready to go to Palm today. You'd rather go get your favorite meal today than to give $5 to the dude that's running his mouth on air. That for some reason you think it's okay to inbox me all day. You think it's okay to text me all day. You think it's okay to blow up my phone in the craziest times, you know, just, hey, John, what you doing, buddy? I was just wondering, man. What do you use when you're doing your QuickBooks? Is there an app you use when you're, right? The number again, yes, my dear cousin. It is 713-526-5738 to KPFT. It's 713-526-5738. And just let them know Jonyprofit's on air right now, and he's telling I want to give back. Again, there's so many incredible people. I love being part of incredible teams. I've been on lots of teams. I've been on lots of very, very, very successful teams. And I'm telling you, it's the best feeling. Driving in, I was listening to a psychologist, a sports performance psychologist, talk about the impact of losing and how it hits us, and it hits us hard, especially when you're at that high performance level. It doesn't matter if you're playing chess or you're in the Olympics right now in fencing. When you lose, it hurts. It takes a lot out of you, especially if you've been used to winning. And the thing they kept talking about, especially if you're training up kids or new business owners, is the simple fact that you got to really know what the key metrics is. And I know firsthand because of my brother Trevor and Mike Brown and Pat and the rest of them and Matt, it was the team made it fun. The victory just made it solidified our union, our ability to move forward. The winning was fun because when I grew up super poor, like the whole no silver spoon, some of the best times of my life came when I was like dirt poor, like no electricity, heat from the stove poor. Like some of the best times. Versus now, you know, hey, John, you going to the Super Bowl? You know, people that play, hey, John, hey, you're at the radio station. Can you give me free tickets? Hey, if you ask me for free tickets and you've gotten them, make a donation, 713-526-5738. Just go for it. Like, oh, yeah, he did give me, like, tickets when he was with Radio 1. He gave me tickets when he was with this, CBS. Oh, yeah, he did. So I just want you to give back a little. Not to me, to society. I know the internet is free. But the stuff I say, it'll take you a long time to put it all together to repeat the crazy stuff that flies out of my mouth. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to start talking about stuff other people want to talk about. But I'm going to bust in every once in a while and say, hey, if you liked what he said, call 713-526-5738 for the fun drive, the pledge drive, the money drive. That this is how this station stays on the air drive. So that every 5 minutes you're not listening to a Rogaine commercial, or you're not listening to hormone replacement, or you're not listening to I just got hair, yay. Come on, man. That's the beauty of public radio. Citizen-driven radio. Anyway.
Hey, they're calling right now.
They're calling. I'm loving it.
Operators are standing by.
The operators are standing by. Here's my dear friend. Let me see. Go ahead and tell us what's going on, man.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. Well, okay. Hang in there. Oh, see. Technical. Hang in there.
It's all right.
There we go. We're going to do it this way until I set it up.
That's cool, man. So, no, biggest thing today, the damn traffic.
Oh, my goodness.
What is the rain? It starts to spit, and what happens?
They lose their mind.
I'm telling you. And everybody says, well, we drive bad. I said, no. So everybody understands. It comes down to simple physics. If that big semi, right, you need to give it some room. You need to respect that.
Respect the semis, people.
Okay, so we sit there and go, those from out of town coming in and going, well, I can do that. I can get in that space. No. No. There's too many factors there. So that's why my greatest fear is when it starts to rain around here and everybody's out on the road, there's more and more on there. But that was pretty nice there. Good afternoon.
You're good. Go ahead. Yeah, you're live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Glad to see you, John.
Hey, I'm glad to see you as well.
We were trying to do that meetup. We're going to set up a meetup coming out to it's the Microsoft Center, correct?
Yes.
That's the Galleria.
Yep.
Trying to set that up. We're trying to go for next week, but we'll set it up soon. John will post it on all his different outlets there and come out and see. I'll be there. John's going to be there. I think Chuck, who's been in our studio before.
Yep.
And he's actually an interesting cat. He did the communications for the White House under President Obama.
Yeah, he has a real nice.
He's got a repertoire there. He could tell you some stories there. But we're going to do this about the contracting. I think it was the first session we're going to do is on contracting. Of course, if you want to ask about lending, that's my other hat. John had mentioned that earlier. This brings to mind, of course, we were talked about right before the end of the year. Now at the beginning of the year, it's all about, all right, you had some ideas, let's start going, let's start working on them. And we always circle back to, what about the numbers? Okay, do you know what's going on with your business? I'm not, we never ask anybody to go and get your, accounting degree or be a bookkeeping certificate. No, just basics, right?
Basics.
Understand what, the income statement is, understand what your balance sheet is, understand the differences between them, so that when somebody sit there, and again, you try to surround yourself, as John said, with people that know what they're doing, and therefore it now can leverage into you being able to really truly grow your business and have that vision and try to affect it.
Yep.
So it's not that we're telling you to be able to do to be an accountant, but it's to be understanding what's going on. So if you walk into your business that day, you know exactly where you are and what you can anticipate, because that's all about being the true entrepreneurs. There is knowing, being in the present, but always having one eye on the future, and of course being mindful of what happened in the past so it doesn't repeat. Or unless it was pretty good.
Unless it was pretty good, and
that's right.
Then it's hard to repeat.
So like this week, we're starting to get back in. Last week I did mention that we're starting to gear up again on the training sessions there at the Small Business Development Center. It's one of the things about being tied with the University of Houston on the academic schedule. The last 2 weeks of the during the holidays, it kind of dies down for a bit. But that's mindful of all of them. For those of you that recall, we had our banking session. We were talking about getting your stuff in. Remember, during November, because they'll try to close. If you got enough things, they'll try to close it before the end of the year, because that's how they get their performance rated like that. That's how their bonuses come tied to. You have to understand the layout of what's going on. All right. If you don't know, ask somebody. Ask somebody what's going on there. If it's banking or different cycles, why did I get turned down? You have to ask the question. What did they tell you? All right. Ask the question. Says, well, what are the strengths and weaknesses of what's going on? It could be anything. It could be in a loan application. It could be in that you didn't win a contract. See if you can get a debriefing. See if you can get an abstract if it was just a closed bid, to see where you are. And if you are like in a situation for construction, and you're going in, you're bidding, and you find out that I'm always priced too high.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's your first problem. You have to sit there and try to find some type of economies of scale that you can sit there and bring your pricing down and more in line with what's going on.
So they understand, what's your role at Where Do You Work?
Oh, I'm sorry for those that haven't been listening to us for the past year. I'm with the Small Business Administration. We're that little federal agency, and I am the lead for government contracting, business development programs, and the acting lead for our capital access or the lending assistance programs. So what that means is that for the past 25 years, I've been trying to learn things around in general economics, but in specific industries, financing, all having to do with underwriting, trying to find sources of capital, trying to get the small businesses to pursue the different aspects, and get you to start thinking about different things and get yourself prepared for different scenarios. We at the agency have relationships with local resource partners. You'll always hear us talk about SCORE. John mentioned SCORE. That's a resource partner. It's a volunteer national network. We have a very strong chapter here. But again, you have to experience it. You have to go and talk to them, see if it fits right for you. Because if it doesn't, if you don't, for whatever reason, don't respond to it, there's other options there.
Right.
For example, the Small Business Development Center. That's the University of Houston is behind the Small Business Development Center. That's a partnership between the federal government and the state government through the University of Houston. And they set up a network with other similar institutions in the area.
So I'll say this, because I don't want you to give all the information away because they haven't paid for it yet.
Oh, okay.
So look, so he clearly stated his name, where he works, what he does, his role in society. So the reason he's on here, and he's my buddy for a long time, he either knows where the gold is or where the bodies are buried. Two things every smart, savvy business owner needs to know, period. Like, if you want to know what's going on, you better know either where the bodies are buried. That's just one of those old sayings, right? Or you better know where the gold is. And so if you're sitting with the guy that I'm going to ask this next question to about Hagel, and you're out here complaining about money and access to capital, 713-526-5738. ask the folks next door, tell them I want to give a little money. I want to do my part for Jonyprofit, for Community Business Hour. Here's my donation of, and then you write in the numbers. Because he's sitting right here. He's usually right here with me. We do events together. If there's someone in the business community, just like with my 10KSB people, that we probably know just about everybody you would need to know in business. I don't know. So donate if you want him to come back and keep talking, or better yet, if you want to meet with him and then start picking his brain, which he enjoys you doing, but pay it forward. Okay, I just wanted to,
So you mentioned Hagel.
Yeah, Hagel.
Oh, that's a great segue.
Yeah.
So we've organized. So you were talking to lending institutions, right? And most of the bankers and whatnot
Need money.
Yeah, you need money. You go to them. It says, well, they're the ones that have the money to lend, but they have constraints there that are imposed upon them by either their investors, their loan committee, or just their planning experience, and then the regulators. Okay, so but you don't have to understand all that. You just have to understand. Says, all right, do they do small business lending? And one of the key elements for that is that do they utilize any of the small business development programs that, such as SBA has, USDA has their own for rural development, and it's called business investment, the B&I loans, and then we have ours. The city of Houston has their version of it using city monies. So understanding all that, understanding how it all works together and how you can find access. If you are just starting out, you quickly learn there's only two sources of capital in this world: your own pockets and somebody else's. Okay, so if you're like John and I, our own pockets go very, very shallow, and so I'm turning to somebody else to now, how is it? Okay, so understand the nuances. What's the difference between going out and getting equity or partner? Okay, in this, whether it's a whatever form it may be, under the guise of a corporation, under the guise of a partnership, whatever it may be, but you're getting a partner in an equity position there. You're giving up some measure of control at that point, or you're going out to get loans. All right, so, and if the loans is, well, from where are they getting the money there? Okay, if it's from the banking institutions, okay, there's some certain constraints there. So if they understand the credit enhancement programs, and we talked about before about credit enhancements. Credit enhancements take the form of many things. It could be additional collateral, which most people don't have, additional capital into the project, which most people don't have. We're getting a trend here. More experience, which most people don't have. It just depends on what the enhancement is. A co-signer, which you don't want. Again, you went into it trying to find out, can I get some money from the lending institution? And they're going to sit there and assess risk. And that's their business. Their business is not to run your business. Their business is to try to assess the risk of, do you know as much as you can in order to run the business and be successful at it? And best of all, repay me. Okay? They're a business. That's their business. They assess risk in order to make money off of money.
So check this out. I'm going to jump in there real quick. So Joy Scott says to us.
Joy Scott. Hey.
Yeah. She says on here, and those of you watching on Facebook, those of you listening live on KPFT 90.1, she says, SBA Houston stellar help underused by those who complain. My first time to notice Miguel Ruiz, 7137. Well, I can't give you that number. I'll give it to you later because they get it confused with the whatever, but it's on the site. She even puts your email address up there. Help is free, to be clear. Taxpayer funded. I close contracts from this info. Also, I use free SBDC and PTAC. Thank you, Joyce.
Joyce Scott is the best example I can say of somebody who assessed what was going on. When you remember we were talking about assessing opportunity,
yes,
and you sit there and silo yourself, goes, well, I don't do that. All right, well, it's going to cost you this. All right,
yeah.
Joyce Scott came in. She assessed what was going on here. She upped and moved to this city.
Oh.
Okay, because of the resources that were here, and she felt that, hey, it was better to operate from here. She's national.
Yeah,
I mean,
I see her everywhere,
nonstop. Yeah. And the thing is that she understands that. If there's any person that I could sit there and go, she understands what's going on there, and she's not going to be sit there and doing that whole timid approach to things. Okay,
right.
Well, maybe not. No. You got to go. You have to. Remember, we always have. You don't get if you don't ask. Okay.
Yep.
She goes out there and does it. She understands the nuances of how everyone relates to each other, and then she holds us accountable for it because you know that she knows. Okay, and that's one of the best things I can say about Joyce is that she always makes me feel that I have to be on my top of my game.
Yes, she does have that
because
presence.
I know that she knows what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Okay, and she is a good enough of a friend. Okay, yes, she's a taxpayer constituent, but more importantly, she's a good enough of a friend that she sit there and go, you need to do this, okay? So it's the type of friend that you want to have, because those are always the ones you want to have around you. Is that sit there and go warts and all.
Yeah.
Going, hey, you're slipping. Okay.
I love it. Thank you, Joe Scott. I just noticed that. Thanks for posting on our Facebook Live while we're up and running.
Superb Speakers is I believe is the name of our outfit.
Okay.
Superb Speakers, oneword.com.
We'll go to it right now. And I see Mitzi Henderson just shared it as well. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you for sharing. And we were trying to coordinate last week. I do think somewhere in the near future, if not next week, we're definitely going to hook up and get you on the show, because I think you have a lot of wonderful things to share with folks. Again, thanks, Joyce. So again, it's the fund drive. That's what's going on right now. KPFT. There's a bank of people out there that are, volunteering to sit there and help raise money for the station, because it is commercial free. Similar to the government, it's literally, run by the people for the people. That's the beautiful thing about it. So, you've got lots of different shows, different programming, all kinds of genres, talk shows, music, live band performances. Local bands have a place where they can roll up in here and be like, hey, can I play my album? I know many of the activists and the folks in the community from different groups representing different issues, different topics, have sat in any of the 3 studios here and been able to share their insight. The cool part about it is what goes on the air is archived. And so when it's archived, that gives many of you a platform or a product or deliverable that you can now go back to the archive, download it, and you can say, as heard on a 100,000 watt station, or as heard on, the podcast afterwards. Ibrahim Farad just joined in. I see you watching. What's up, Abe? Good buddy of mine. So again, the number up here is 713-526-5738. If not you, tell a friend. Tell a friend. I mean, let's not make this about deductions and all this, right? Tax-free contribution. If you have a vehicle that doesn't run anymore, give away the car. Like it's just sitting out there. Call 713-526-5738 and be like, hey, I have a car. I'd like to donate. Can you come get it? And tell them it's for Jonyprofit, because I want to tally this up. If I can raise $15,000 on this platform, if it is possible between now and the 27th, basically I've reached my objective. And the reason I want to reach that objective is because I believe when I turn on the real deal, the real platform, the real system that has been brewing and waiting for the 17th to arrive, I'm back. I'm going to help a lot of business-minded people help themselves. Like, I've seen it. I've been in the mix of it for a long time, and I can kind of, navigate between who's giving you advice and who's actually able to help you. Back to those metrics we're using this year. And so if you're a startup, I'm trying to get you as much insight as possible. If you're an established business, at this point, chances are you need a little bit of how-to as a CEO or going to that next level in your organization. But you need a lot of get it done. You need people that can get stuff done. And to have you sit in workshops on social media when what you really needed was like 3 people that actually could do it is like, the opportunity cost is huge there. So anyway, go to kpft.org for more information. Call up here now and be like, hey, I'm listening to Jonyprofit. It's 713-526-5738. All right, that's it. Business is not hard. The hard part about anything, doing your homework, eating right, making money, it's the discipline. All right, and once you have the discipline, part of discipline is following people that are going to help you go up, not pull you down. That is the part. You keep thinking the discipline is your technique and your tactics, when part of the discipline is keeping an environment around you that's conducive to growing. That's it. Happy people bring happy people. Pissed off people bring more pissed off people. I can't even get on Facebook because all of you are just barking about your Cowboys, your team, your this, the president, and Trump, and Obama, and Clinton, and Hillary. I'm like, what are you so pissed off about? 90% of you were not doing jack before the election. You weren't doing jack. You were doing the same thing when Ford was president. You were doing the same thing, Carter. You were doing the same thing when Bush 1 and 2. You were doing the same thing in Clinton. You have been doing the same thing for 40 years. Nothing has changed other than you allow your bitterness. You allow that fact that you have accomplished little to nothing in 40 years. You now have a voice. You now have a platform to just wake up pissed off. Like, Somebody cuts you off and they got a Trump sticker. You're mad. Somebody cuts you off, they got an Obama sticker. You're mad. That's not the world's problem. You have a problem. And the fact that they're making a killing off of your mental instability. But you don't see it because in your world, you're the person that's out there saying, I'm right. And everything I say is right because it works for me. Business is no different. Business is not hard. I'm listening to a debate. I'm watching something on a Facebook, and one of my friends that I do appreciate, Daniel and Pranav, had some stuff going on with Neil, and they were talking about this agree, disagree, or quantify kind of thing, right? This thing that Daniel runs. And the question had to do with like income inequality. And the thing that I'm torn between, because there are no black and white answers. Every situation, even with the same person, it's different every time you run the scenario. That's why in this MBA program with this capstone, that's what the simulator is there to teach you, that every situation is different. And when all you have is that hammer, that they did me wrong hammer, we gonna make America great again hammer, they took our job hammer. When that's all you have, no matter what swings your way, you're gonna hammer it down with that. And you know what comes out of it? Nothing but more of you bitter, driving around, cutting people off, looking at people crazy, saying the most ignorant stuff because you think it's okay. And that's the beauty about being on public radio. Like, if I want to put somebody right across from me that completely disagrees with everything I say, which is most people, I can do it and not worry about sponsors because you are the sponsor. 713-526-5738, sponsor. Be a sponsor. Be a supporter. Whether you get the tax deduction or not. If that's your main concern, great. If not, hey, just sponsor because you're giving back. And I can't stress how it's just like to watch each and every one of you have an opinion about something you had very little say in. You voted. Great. I told you. You really want to vote? You vote with your dollars. How do you vote with your dollars? The point I was getting to earlier. Look, people, business is not hard. We could take all the money in the world. This is just my belief. I'm not saying it's right. This is my belief. We could take all the money in the world, spread it out just as even as butter in the pan. Just spread it out evenly. It is going to move exactly where it is right now. Because those that have been convinced into being consumers, which I've talked about this I don't know how many times, if your entire life is glitz, glitter, and zoom. If you have not an ounce of investment in you, like an ounce of, I'm going to invest, I'm going to improve myself, I'm going to serve the needs of others, I'm going to invest in that area, and I'm going to keep going. If you don't have even an ounce of that, you're doomed. We could give you a lottery ticket, a Powerball ticket. We can give you $100 million today. You want to see an example of it? Go out and look at most pro athletes back in the day. Given pretty decent change. But culturally, whether it's education, geographics, you name it, they didn't have a sound investment culture around them. And by not having that, they may have had, you did get a lot of money. Maybe we should spend it. Well, you're going to get more of it because you're famous. Maybe we should spend it. Well, people don't appreciate you the way I think they should appreciate you. So maybe you should spend it to make people appreciate you. There's no government program. There's nothing to stop that. You cannot force people to wake up one day and say, you know what, maybe I just need to stop, paying all these money for services I don't use and doing all this extra crazy stuff. Maybe I need to stop trying to keep up with the Jones. Maybe I ought to stop doing that. Wow, wouldn't that be cool if instead of driving a $700 a month vehicle, I just drove a paid off vehicle that cost $3,000? I mean, what would people say about me? Oh my. And maybe if I didn't wear $900 shoes, maybe if I wore some, slip-on, $30 shoes, and oh my, can you imagine that $900 actually working investment-wise versus working on your feet? And I'm not saying that's bad. We need high end. To drive forward. We need $30 million sports cars and $400 million jets. We need professional athlete teams. We need all of that. We just don't need the poor thinking they need to get into that race. Until your money, until your investments get up every day, kiss you on the forehead, walk out the door, and multiply itself like cats, like rats, like roaches. Until your money kisses you on the head like, see you in a little bit. Okay, take care. I'll talk to you later, money. You're in the rat race, man. You starting a business is not going to save you. I will say again, there are more people with jobs making far more money than there'll ever be people running small businesses, because most people who run a small business, the startups today, have no business sense whatsoever. No finance, no economics, nothing. When they start a business, they're out for one thing, fame, to prove somebody wrong. To prove somebody wrong. Period. I'm going to show you I can, oh, my boss was a jerk in corporate, watch me. Ooh. I say it over and over again. You will get more people that are postal workers that bought one rent house after another, that have bonds, that have stocks. You will get more of them when they pass away, will have a net worth that surpasses. You can go get 10 times as many business owners in their same neighborhood. They won't even come close. Most of you, it takes you 3 to 4 to 5 years just to figure out what business to start. Then you got to turn around and try to figure out what business to do. But there's money in telling you business is for everybody. There's money in telling you network marketing is the way of the world, and you're going to get in, your down leg's going to be 80 to the left, 30 to the right, because they know the consumer in you. And they know you will try to play keep up. And that's the thing I can't stress. That's why I said business is so easy. It hurts. Like, it literally hurts. How many mom and pop businesses would love to trade? How many people out here right now, if we go to the business broker side of it, would love to hand their business off, their small business off? The 90% of all companies, the small business, they would love to hand their business off to somebody with some common sense. They can't give it to their kids because they probably raised participation ribbon kids. Their kids had everything because mom and dad owned, maybe a local grocery store or a local car wash and had a few rent houses. Their kids went to the nicest schools. They drove nice cars, had a good life. They don't want their kids to be in small business because they know small business is horrible. They want their kids to go out there and get a college degree and get a good job. So this small business owner then has to figure out, I've been serving the community for 5, 10, 15, 25, 35 years with my restaurant, my ice cream shop, my whatever, and there's no one to come get this shop. You know why? Because when most of you start a business, you want to do what's important to your ego. You want to start a business because you believe that it's in you and on high it came down in the head and now you need to start a business. Never realizing that no investor wakes up in the morning and says, what would I like to invest in today? When we wake up, we listen. We say, what's the market saying? Oh, what? What? I can't hear it. I need help. Call my advisors. What's the market saying? Well, in Beijing, it's saying this. In Belgium, it's saying this. In Nigeria, it's saying this. Okay. What's the best move for us? Well, if we do the following, how do we hedge that? Okay. That's it. I told you. You will make more money thinking wisely about investment. Go out and start a business. Take that extra cash. And start investing. And if you don't know what investment is, there's a video on lynda.com. There's a video on YouTube. Please don't go to a workshop about investment because then they just took your money. Start with the free stuff first. That's what we're sharing. That's why I want you to support the show at 713-526-5738. Jonyprofit. Oh, come on in. Jonyprofit, yes.
$60 from Joyce Scott.
$60 from Joyce Scott. Boom. Joyce, anytime you want to be on the show, it's no relation. You're invited to the show anyway. But because you're on here, that's my huge thank you. Or I'll help you with anything you want. All right? Thank you, Joyce. So Joyce is, they just walked in. I told you.
She's the first one.
They're listening. And so I want to definitely finish up with this whole point about small business. And the reason I created Community Business Hour was simply this. I was in the studio across the way. Stephanie Coleman asked me to come in and show some kids from one of the ISDs, the independent school districts, how to use radio. It was a group of them. And I was like, sure. So I would take my Friday that I didn't have 10 KSB, which is 10,000 small business, and I would come down here all morning and work with these kids, just regular kids that want to know how do you do radio. And so we work. Yes, Mitzi, you can donate online. Just put it in general fund because they haven't put the Community Business Hour in there yet. So thank you very much, Mitzi. But the thing is, I came in here, I love volunteering, I love working with young people because they get it. Because young people haven't been beaten down, young people haven't grabbed one hammer yet, and everything, that's the problem with everything, everything's the problem. Young people aren't there yet. It takes a while. It takes like after college and listening to more grown-ups that haven't made it and after a few failures, instead of people saying, that's not a failure, that's just a learning lesson, come on. Instead, what they hear from their environment is, yeah, it wouldn't be that way if so-and-so hadn't stole the jobs, if so-and-so hadn't this, if so-and-so hadn't oppressed us. And how do you grow from that negativity? So anyway, look, I appreciate everyone that got involved today. What's the number? Yes, Ty. It is 713-526-5738. Thank you, Facebook and Zuckerberg, for creating this platform. Like, seriously, sometimes when it doesn't work, I'm mad. But this is one time. This thing's just jamming. I love it. 713-526-5738. The three things I always ask for you to learn. First, just go study economics, all right? Just go find different books on economics. And what that means is the distribution of resources. Like, where does it all go? Where does money go? Where does the food? Where does, like people and labor, where does it go? How does it work? What role does government play? All right? And go in there and just learn about economics just a little bit. Like, take a weekend off from pro football or whatever you're watching, or basketball or baseball season, and just go learn this stuff. And then after you get a little bit about accounting, then go, or economics, then go out and learn a little bit about accounting. Just which side is the debit and which one's the credit and how that all works out. Just learn just the itsy bitsy about accounting. Okay? And then when you're done with that, the most important thing I want for you to learn is how to listen to others. Stop thinking business is about you. We start a business because the market demands it, all right? Or the market's asking. In the simulator right now, we have 5 different products, and I have to position each one of those unique products just right so that as you change, our products are right in line with where you're going. And I have to add up the numbers. I have to figure out how much we got to borrow in bonds and stocks and all this, and short term and long term. That's the stuff I want to share with you. You don't need to go out and learn all this stuff. I want you to learn it on the fly. And then when you get settled, when you get situated, when you have your mask on and you can breathe, then you can help your business side put on their mask as well. So we have about 2 minutes left. Again, 713. You can do it long after I'm off the air, especially if you're watching later. 713-526-5738. The bank will be full of people most of the day. When I leave here, I got to get back to work. Got a lot of projects. It's 2017 on the 17th day of January. I cannot just say how happy I am. To all those that have helped and supported and gotten me through all the this and that, thank you very much. If I had extra thumbs, I'd give it to you right now. There we go. Bam. It's the 3 thumb up. First time ever seen on Facebook Live. Totally made that up, all right? But I want to thank Miguel and Melissa for coming out for support. Lisa Parker, thank you for sending that friend request. I will click on it later on to approve it. Small business is not hard, all right? And yes, we're going to try to figure out how to do the meetup thing next week. But from now until then, if your business is struggling, you either need better information or you need better assistance, better help. And we're going to, from now on, figure out just exactly how we can set that metrics up and set the deliverables up in a way that we have something for each of those segments. So if you need a lot of help, knowledge and a lot of help, then you're probably in a growth stage, right? If you need a very little insight, but you just need a lot of help, then those are services. And so we'll set that up, and with all the people in this space that are business consultants and all that, I share this. Again, it's like being at a sports arena, a track and field event. I'm not going to hold this in. I'm going to hold my information from those that just want to go out and make money off of you and basically screw you over. But if you're legit, if you're really trying to help people, I'm not holding back information, because when I share with you, you usually come back with insight. And today I want that insight to be a donation. KPFT.org, click on the big red donate button, or 713-526-5738. I used to wonder, why do they keep saying it over and over again? I used to hate when pledge drives came on, or Jerry Lewis Telethon would mess up everything on my TV for a day, right? But you don't realize how important it is until you're actually out here trying to help people, until you're actually out here in the thick of it. And so I'm excited to be part of it. I was on air like I don't know how many times last week at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It hurt, like it was painful. But it's to get this done, because if the station stays up, you have a voice. So with that said, let me see if I got any music to play. Let's play. I don't even have any music to play, so it's fine. So for my Facebook folks, thanks for listening. For the people that are listening out in the car, you've been listening to Community Business Hour. Fun drive time. We'll be back next week. I'll give you more information about a new show that we're creating that's going to be more of a magazine style, and we'll go from there. So Facebook people, you hang on while I get my wonderful other folks out of here. Let me get the music. Let's see if I can find it. You guys got anything to say as I find this music?
Utilize what we have here: SBDC, SCORE, HCC. All you have to do is ask. Go to SBA.gov, look at local assistance. There's a drop-down toolbar, and put in trying to find Houston.
Awesome. Take care, folks. So anyway, let's see. We got our.
It's the after hour.
It's the after hour. I got my funky music. All that stuff's down. All right, so everybody that jumped on, thanks a huge bunch. Yeah. So, let's see. Michelle, small business owner looking to grow and impact lives of others. Hey, Michelle, I would click it, like, but it'll mess it up. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but anyway, what do you got to say, big guy?
Oh, I mean, like I said, I was excited like there. Just with tomorrow, Valerie Coleman's having another class. Decoding an RFP. So those that don't know, RFP, request for proposal.
Opportunity.
So you get a solicitation. Solicitation means I'm asking for something. That's the government speak for, I need this. Okay? So then you normally submit a bid or you submit a proposal. A bid means it's just everything's going to be opened up at one time. The lowest bid, lowest price technically acceptable is the one that gets accepted and awarded. But a proposal means that, hey, there's some unique things that the government
knows where the bodies are buried.
The government, the old adage was that not only did I know where they were buried, I put them there. So,
okay.
But the RFP, decoding an RFP. So you have to understand what do they want, and solicitation tells you what the government wants from you. So an RFP, the request for proposal, when they send that out, they're asking. That's the solicitation. They're asking for a request for proposals. This breaks down that, right? Demystifies the whole process. This is Valerie Coleman. She is now the program manager for Prime Contracts, which is a headquarters position. We happen to still have her here because I just wouldn't let her get on the plane to go to D.C. So we gave her an office down here. So she works from Houston, but she's actually a headquarters employee. She's way up there in the upper echelons. I hold the door open for her and make sure that everybody keeps back. So tomorrow, that's what she's having tomorrow. She has a series of seminars that she's doing herself. In addition, concurrently, Bob Warren, one of the PTAC consultants. So for those that don't remember what PTAC stands for, is Procurement Technical Assistance Center. This is a Defense Logistics Agency contract that the SBDC stands for Small Business Development Center, and SBDC is the SBA contract that the University of Houston Bauer College has. Great partners for us in the past. We're closing in on 3 decades. So they provide the seminars. The SBDC hosts the seminars. The PTAC are full-time consultants about contracting. Okay, Bob Warren is a database guru, and what he's going to do is break down the and offer the Defense Logistics Agency Internet Bid Board System, or DIBS. Okay, so if you're trying to sell products to the military, right, the Department of Defense, you have to understand how DIBS works and how you can find the opportunities. And some of the key aspects that you'll learn there is, like, for example, why does one branch of the military call it one thing or have it numbered one way and the other one is? Well, that's an old, long-going battle between different military branches. But long and short, you have to know why. Why does the Army call it latrine? The Navy call it the head? The Marines call it something. There's a difference there, okay? So again, understand you have to identify yourself to the government, okay? And the PTAC can help you to get that. You have to understand, where do I register? Where do I do my research? And then how do I respond? Okay. So this is one of those aspects there. The introduction to DIBS is tomorrow as well. Thursday, state government, because PTAC is not just about federal. That's the big beauty about PTAC. I keep talking about it. It is all levels of government. And for those that can't remember our long-going discussion here over the past year, is that I've only got 3 federal agencies that buy anything here. And when you look at me going, no, Miguel, there's more than that. It says, no, I'm talking about buying activities, okay? And they're pretty big. The VA, but you have to be a vet, okay? Or even better, a service-connected disabled vet, own business. NASA Johnson Space Center. And unless you're a small business that can put somebody on Mars, there are going to be some issues there. Okay, it could happen. All right, so but there's some issues there. And the last one is the Corps of Engineers, Galveston. Okay, that's the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Galveston District, and they're charged with keeping the ports and the intercoastal waterways clear between the Mexican border and 2 parishes over in Louisiana, which means dredging. So if you got a pipeline dredger or a hopper dredger, and if you don't know what that is, then either you need to go and invest some time into learning about it, or if you do, going, well, what do you mean, Miguel? Who do I talk to over there? Okay, so they have products there. They'd love to find somebody that has 1 or 2 of either, and therefore keep you engaged, because we have 6 projects going on at any one time in the ship channel alone. Okay, and those are different dredging projects. And dredging is about removing the silt. Remember, it's a active waterway there from the Gulf. So
call your cousin and get the pickup truck.
There you go.
Come on,
so
people.
You sit there and you remove it, and you have to put it somewhere else. But there's some certain regulation you have to follow. There's certain areas you have to do it, certain ways you have to do it. Again, it's a specific niche industry of construction. All right, but working on everything else is the Corps of Engineers Fort Worth. FBI and that beautiful building on 290. I keep talking about it. It's bought somewhere else. All the things that go in there. You have to understand the layout of who buys what you are trying to sell and how do they buy it. Okay, so it may be if you are Houston centric and you don't do business with one of those three entities in the federal government, then the federal space may be something you need to wait on. Okay, because until you're able to go regionally or nationally, you want to wait on things. But there may be plenty of state opportunities or local government. Remember, local government takes the form of anything that's not the state or the federal. So that's the county. Okay, we start looking down, right? County, municipal, city, right? The MUDs. Do you know there's over 500 MUDs here in Houston alone?
Tell them what a MUD is.
A MUD, Municipal Utility District, okay? So if for those in construction or those in engineering, everyone has to do the same thing, all right? They're putting together the utilities and everything, the underground utilities and everything, wastewater, sewage, the whole works. They have to do that, and they have all these projects going on at one time. You can string together, 500, let's talk about 10%, 50 of those projects, that's going to keep you occupied for quite some time. And that's just Harris County. Then we talk about Fort Bend, we talk about Montgomery, all these different areas, okay? School districts, it's another one. Okay, that's also another local project, but it's a state-related. Again, understand the nuances there. PTAC can help you to figure out whose buys my stuff and how, right? And then most importantly, when. Because if they're not scheduled to buy it, why are you devoting so much time in order to pursue that? Okay, for example, if the contract for whatever government entity just got awarded and it was a 5-year contract, well, you got 5 years to prepare for the next time, but that doesn't mean it has to be hot, front burner number one. Okay, you put it on a back burner, and as time gets closer, like say you're 2-3 years out, then you start to readdress it. All right, who was that one again? Who got awarded that? Maybe I need to work that way. Again, there are different scenarios for that.
Make them donate for the rest. No, I'm playing.
I can't do that.
No,
I can't do that.
I'm just joking. But you can tell them where, because now we're off air.
Okay.
So now that we're off air, you can tell them how to get a hold of you. Like,
okay.
For real,
So
Facebook Live, we can do whatever we want.
The best way is always to email me. It's and it's not because I don't want to hear your voice or whatnot. It's just that I'm here or somewhere else there. And then right now we're doing renovations, so I can't even hear the phone ring because I'm in the computer room. And I've got this din in my ears. That's why I was so happy to get out of there. But it's Miguel, the traditional spelling, .Ruiz, another traditional spelling. These are old. It's an old name for Texas. Those of you that grew up learning Texas history, go back to the Declaration of Independence for Texas, and you'll find that there.
Kevin says great information on the MUDs.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. So Miguel.Ruiz at SBA.gov.
Yes,
SBA.gov.
Thank you. And yes, Mitzi, you can donate online. Just go to kpft.org and click on the big red donate button.
He gave you a get out.
And I was just thinking, Joyce Scott.
Joyce
Scott, thank you very much. Once again, when the station manager brings you a note, it's a good thing. Yes. Okay. And Ty King, thanks for donating, buddy. Thanks for calling in. Thanks. Okay. And back.
So, where was I? Miguel.Ruiz at SBA.gov. Is that too far?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Get your side. All right.
There we go.
And then one of the things that we didn't finish out was that you had mentioned Hagel.
Yes.
We got together all the lending institutions that actually do small business lending and utilize our programs, and perhaps USDA and any other ones, but they're more geared to small business lending. And we asked two things of them. First of all, I told them, one, it's automatic when you use our program you're in, okay? And now you got to provide the contact information. So if you go to HAGGL, Hagel. Yes, I know it says haggle. That's a lending joke, right? So it's HAGGL.com, right? HAGDL.com, and then you look under the membership there. There's a directory there, and that's actually going to be the small business contact. And it's for some of them, like M&T Bank, Allegiance Bank. There's a list of small business contracts because of contacts there, in that they have a lot of the more there are, usually the more gear are with local small businesses. But there's a contact there. When you call them up, then they will be able to understand what's going on, because one, they'll understand you're doing it from a small business standpoint. Okay, and it's a different nuance there. If you don't have, there's a triad there of resources. You got to have a good attorney, you have to have someone good with the books, and then you have a good lender. Okay, and those lead to other things. Everybody says, "Well, what about insurance?" It goes, "Well, if you have a good attorney or any of those three, they're going to talk to you about insurance." But those three, those legs of the tripod there, are what's going to help your business grow. All right, because if you can sit there and trust them to do so, and I always advocate, he says, it's like any other commodity, you have to look and see other options there. If your current lending situation is not benefiting you, look somewhere else. There's going to be somebody there. It's all about relationship in lending, okay? And if you're, for whatever reason, it's not working for you anymore, and it's because you keep getting no because you're trying to grow and they're sitting there hesitant, perhaps they can't lend to you anymore, right? Understand that. Find somebody else that's bigger, right? Find somebody else that has a different, until you start talking to them. Hang on's one way to do that.
So here's the point, because I'm ready to go home and I've almost packed up, and I want to thank all of you for getting involved. It's a new day. Melissa, do you want to say anything? Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, she's good. She just came for support. So let me get the whole KPFT. So this is the station. It's public. As long as I can communicate, I can create. As long as I can create, I am free. Lewis Hill, founder of Pacifica Radio, and this is one of 5 or so, or the organizations in the nation. And so we're just happy to have one here. Again, small business owners, now is your time. There's no amount of voting, as you see, electoral college, popular vote, all that. Just more reason for you to argue and get mad and fight with one another. Economics is the key to success, and I don't want to get, put myself in hot water, really preaching that, because as soon as you say it, you put yourself on target. But I will say this, look, there's nothing stopping any of you from growing, starting, creating a small business that gives you just enough money to invest properly. Once that money is invested, whether it's domestically or around the world, again, when your money gets up every morning, kisses you on the forehead and walks out the door, and say, see you at, whenever, see you at the yield return, you've done things right. And again, culturally, literally, I don't care which group you're in, there is a huge divide. That's why I have the whole power, privilege, and perception to explain the cultural difference. Literally, people think different. We may be all doing the same thing, but we think very differently on very important key points. And that's what separates the rich from the poor. Right? It's not the government, it's not the corporations, it's not slavery, it's none of those things at this point. And if you don't believe me, just go to your hometown and look at one point when change hits, we had to change our behavior. Right? I have a whole list of things that have been said that were just to get you riled up, from jobs Americans don't want to, you name it. There's been this list of things that many of you just bought hook, line, and sinker. You grabbed your that's right hammer and you started slamming away. And the fact that at any point, any of you could have easily gotten a job, or you could have started a very small business or taken over a small business that was doing well. They just, it wasn't going to make you a millionaire, but maybe it gave you a few extra $1,000 a month. You could have taken that money and invested. But so many of you want to show up to the game. You want to show up to the church. You want to show up to the restaurant. You want to show up to your kid's school. You want to show up and let your ego run the show. And when your ego runs the show, you're done. Literally, guilt or ego is how we in marketing and business development shape and influence the world. For most of you, I could have gotten on here and gassed most of you up, like the people that will come behind me and the ones that have been before me, and they will tell you, you can be great if, have you ever wanted 6 figures? Do you want to be a boss? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want? Do you want? Well, then buy my book. Take my workshop. Are you tired of people telling you can't be as great as you can be? Take my class on how to be greater than everybody else. You can't win like that. You flat out can't win like that. I told you, when I was a wrestler, as an individual, I love the success that I had. I loved how isolated. I loved that. It's same with track and field. If I lost, it was all on me. There was no one to blame, like, period. When I played volleyball, basketball, football at very high levels, if not the highest levels, when we lost, we had to like each other to get through those moments. And when your business goes down, you have to be around people that like you, like 24/7. So anyway, business is not hard. I promise you. I promise you. Most of you, you're going to motivational workshops because you don't understand numbers. And someone told you that you don't have to know numbers. Business is all numbers.
Who told
period.
that?
Oh, but that's the story. You know,
Yeah, no.
Marketing, they're going to tell you. They're going to sell you on a marketing workshop. They're going to sell you on something. But the bottom line is it's all about numbers. Like Wayne is jumping in. If I were working with Wayne right now, how many people do we have to get in here? How many people do we have to hit? How many minutes of Wayne's day are we spending with, training people? Numbers. How much time is each person taking? What are they asking for when they leave? How much would it cost for us to give them that product or service? How long would it last before we replenish it? Numbers. It's always numbers. And if you're not good with numbers or you don't want to learn numbers, there's nothing wrong with that. Get a job. Let somebody else do the numbers. And then get around an environment or culture of people that are not only about the numbers, but they're very successful at it. And let those people school you on how they made lots and lots of money, or how their money gets up every morning, kisses them on the forehead, and goes to work. So with that said, it's been real. It's been great. High five. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Melissa. Get the high five action going here. Do you want to be on camera? Are you scared of camera? Yeah. In case you're wondering there's the Phantom. You didn't see her back there. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Michelle. Dietrich, yes, thank you, Joyce, once again. Thank you, Ty King. Like I said, the station manager came through, gave me this sheet of paper that said, boo! Hollywood superstars came in and helped out to support the station. Thanks again, everybody. If you want to reach out to me, if you're watching just straight through Facebook, there's already people clicking stuff away. Otherwise, JW@EE Hour. Take care, have a wonderful day, and keep giving long after this is over. Thanks.